gonna go live now. That's what he says. Let's see if it does it. Is it gonna do it? Oh, there it is. We're live. Welcome, everybody. Hello, it is Sci-Fi Sunday, and tonight I am joined here by my esteemed colleagues, my very good friends, my wonderful pals, my homies. I got the awesome Jen from Jen's Views from the Grave right over here, and I got
with the homies.
With my homies. And I got the equally awesome soulless Trenchcoat, Trenchy. And today we are going to be talking about the Tick franchise. And guys, you familiar with the franchise at all? Or?
A little bit. I feel this is a very ticky situation, if you will. I've seen a few episodes, and I did rewatch a couple just very, very recently of the old show from the '94. I've seen that. I've not seen the more newer incarnations of this show, but I like it. It's cute. I like the humor. The little bit I've seen, I really do enjoy this humor of it. The superhero, I like the trope that the superhero is so dumb, yet there's something likable about him, even though he's not necessarily a likable character, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a lovable buffoon.
Yeah, he is. And I like his accountant friend. I like the accountant friend, his little sidekick. I really like them too. I think he's funny. I for what I've seen of it, I've enjoyed it. Now, I've never read the comics, so I don't know how faithful the shows are to the comics, or if maybe one show's more faithful to the comics. I don't know about that, but I do like the '94 show. I do like that one. Thumbs up.
Okay. And Trench, what were your? You didn't see the '94 show at all, or?
I think I've seen clips of it, but not really. My first experience with it was last night and today because I did the research and I watched the 2016 show. I watched the first 6 episodes of season 1 and I'm highly enjoying the show. I like how it's not really like a parody, it's kind of its own thing. Well, it does parody some superheroes. It's kind of its own thing and it mixes comedy very well with drama, even though the drama doesn't overtake the comedy. But I really like all the characters, and there's a character named Goat in it, which is awesome.
Approved, huh? Tracy approved.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's great.
I've seen the showrunners and actors have often described it more of having fun with the superhero genre rather than a parody, which I feel is an accurate description.
Yeah, it doesn't feel mean-spirited at all. It doesn't feel mean-spirited at all.
Yeah, it's everything's very tongue-in-cheek in the cartoon, the 2001 series, and the 2016 series.
Like the Terror, the main villain, he's actually threatening, but I love how he's threatening, but at the same time he's making like dad jokes, and he's kinda just like a goofy character, but he still remains that threatening premise or presence. I think that might be because of Jackie Earl Haley. He pulled off the goofiness and threatening, the threateningness well. He was able to balance those. Very well.
I would say for the 94 episode. Oh, I'm sorry, Beth. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was just gonna say very good performance, but go on, Jen. Go on.
I was just gonna say for the '94 series, the two notable voice actors, besides the main cast that I really liked. I like Brad Garrett because I'm a Everybody Loves Raymond fangirl, and I think his voice is just wonderful for cartoon work anyway. And I don't know who did the voice, but I fucking love Bipolar Bear. Like Bipolar Bear is definitely one of my favorite. I love Bipolar Bear. Yay, Bipolar Bear. That is awesome.
Like there was a character in one episode of the '94 series, very brief character, and he's Baby Boomerangutan. Have you seen this character at all?
I don't. Maybe I have. Like the one, like I saw, when I like a character, and I sort of just stick it like "fuck you all." I'm like, I'm Team Bipolar Bear. That's the one I'm into.
It's a guy it's a guy without the ape mask, but he's in like an ape costume, and he throws like dolls, like baby dolls. And his catchphrase, his battle cry is "It's okay to play with dolls."
Yay! Which is a good message for kids, especially in the 90s. It's kind of progressive. I mean, we laugh at it now, but it is a little bit progressive. I like that. Yeah, I definitely. You have made me like I got a little taste. It's like cocaine. I've gotten a little taste, and I think I'm gonna keep going with the show and going and at least finishing the series from the 90s, and I might jump onto the others.
I think you'll like it, Jen. I used to watch this. All right. Well, first off, before I get into it, I'm going to give a very, very, very brief history. This started before this was a comic book. This actually started. The Tick was a mascot for a newsletter for a local comic book shop in Boston called New England Comics. It was created by Ben Edlund, who was also the creator on the show. He was involved in the animated series, the 2001 live action series, and the Amazon series. So he's been involved throughout all three series. And he created it just as a mascot for this newsletter that New England Comics was doing. And the Tick kind of took off from there, and it got spun off into its own independent comic book series, which was then quickly picked up in 1994 by Fox for an animated series. They thought, oh, this will be great. It's kind of funny and goofy, and it's a superhero show that's not too serious that we can put on Saturday mornings, sometime before or after X-Men, depending on your location.
Yeah.
And it was a hit.
They were battling with Freakazoid, right? They were kind of battling with They were kind of trying to, do their own Freakazoid, basically.
Yeah, it had sort of the same kind of target as Freakazoid, I guess you could call it, because the audience was that audience that wanted a goofy, silly show, which Freakazoid was, and it parodies, as they say, Superheroes, which, well, we'll get into that a little bit later. But it was just a good move for Fox to option that and put that out, because it did go head to head with Freakazoid, which I'm not too familiar with. I know Trench is.
Freakazoid's awesome.
Trench, I know you haven't seen the animated series, but what would you say about Freakazoid for anybody who hasn't seen it? Like, how would you describe that?
Well, it kind of has the same sort of humor as kind of like the universal like Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, and like not exactly Tiny Toons. I say more Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain, and they all crossed over. There was one time he actually talked to Steven Spielberg, and like the Brain was there from Pinky and the Brain, and like the Animaniacs people were there, and Steven Spielberg was like, "What the hell is happening?" But they break the fourth wall a lot, and there's a lot of fun villains. You got Tim Curry giving one of the best villain monologues in a cartoon series. You have you might like it, Apple. The main bad guy, one of the main bad guys is voiced by Khan. Like Khan plays him, and he kind of acts like Khan a little bit. So you might like that. There's the Star Trek connection.
They actually had Ricardo Montalban come and do the voice.
Yeah, he voices him. He voices the main bad guy that created kind of the chip that turned Freakazoid into Freakazoid. And it's a really fun series. Like, there's one where a bad guy is attacking the city, and the guy's like, "What are you doing?" And Freakazoid's like, "I'm mowing your lawn, like I asked." And he's like, "There's a bad guy attacking the city." Like, it's got a lot of good humor. Very over the top.
Very cool.
I have to check it out. And of course, not only is that a Star Trek connection, but it is April, guys, and you do go ape in April. It's also a escape from the Planet of the Apes and Conquest of the Planet of the Apes connection, because Ricardo Montalban was in both those shows. So
yep, love Ricardo Montalban. Oh, and Ben Grimm's right, spoon.
Spoon.
Spoon. That's just fun to say. It's like spoon.
When you watch the cartoon, I think it was the first episode or the second. I think that's when the Tick comes up with that as his battle cry.
Yes, and know what? I've never heard another superhero use the. I'm not as well versed as some of you guys in superheroes, but I'm pretty sure no other superhero has ever used the thing spoon.
I love that scene because I remember it. He's in the diner and he's looking at the spoon and he's like tilting it and he's looking at his reflection in the spoon.
Yeah. I also just love that it's from Reno, Nevada. Like, that is such a, of all superhero places, that's the least superhero place I think I've ever thought of.
Yeah, it's like that's where they, and I like how they said it in the city. That's city is just the city.
Yeah, you never know which city it is, but I mean, it could be the same city that they built this. I like to think it's the same city they built rock and roll on. I think Starship had something to do with it. That's my headcanon. Now,
and of course,
spoon in the other shows as well, because I've only seen the '94 one. I haven't got that far, but do they use spoon? I would imagine they do, but do they use it in all the other shows as well?
I don't recall if they used it in this one, but I know in the Amazon one there is a situation where the Tick and Arthur are battling the Terror, and the Tick yells spoon, and Arthur, of course, yells his catchphrase, which is "Not in the face, not in the face,"
which is great.
Which is great. Oh, hey, Stephanie.
Hello.
Oh.
But yeah, welcome to the world of Sci-Fi Sunday.
And ticks and spoons.
Spoon. But yeah, no, that, so I know they mentioned it in that. Some of the nuts and bolts of the animated series, of course, it ran from 1994 to 1997 on Fox Kids, which was their Saturday morning block of cartoons, and later their afternoon block of cartoons, which the Tick did end up on before, and getting syndicated and running on Comedy Central in later years.
Yeah, that's where I
you have
Comedy Central. So
yeah, Comedy Central had it.
Adults like it too, which because if it's on Comedy Central, I guess a lot of adults. My thing is, I think they wanted a cartoon that like the kids could watch, but maybe if their parents were sitting and watching them with them, their parents could kind of get a little enjoyment as well. Kind of a universal where it's kid friendly, but adults can get something out of it too.
Yeah, and it's. I think it's definitely one of those situations. It's like the creators of SpongeBob, Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life. They do these shows for kids, but they slip a little bit in there. So if you're an adult and you're watching with your kids, you're not going to be bored to tears.
Mm-hmm. I was a Ren and Stimpy kid myself. Of course I was. To the absolute shock of no one.
So yeah, in the show, in the cartoon, we've got Townsend Coleman, who voiced the Tick. He also was the Michelangelo and the Rat King from the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show.
I did not know that. That is very cool.
And he also was Falseface in Batman Beyond. And he voiced old and young Silvermane in the Spider-Man series. There's your Spider-Man connection, Kara.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So he was somewhat of a prolific voice actor, correct? From what it sounds like.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I didn't see it in his bio, but his voice is very, very recognizable. If I'm not mistaken, he also did some voice work for the Halloween special Attack of the Killer Bee movies, where he introduced the show and introduced the commercial bumpers.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, really, DMC? I thought for sure you would have known about this, Joe.
Hi, DMC.
Oh, okay.
Hello, regardless, though.
Yeah, I am DMC.
Now, in this show, you also had Arthur was voiced by two different people at different times. One of the voices was, of course, Mickey Dolenz. Jen, Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees.
I know. I knew that. I thought that was cool as a kid. I did know that because he likes to monkey around.
He likes to monkey around. He also did voice work on Captain Caveman, and he was Derek Allen in the 2007 Halloween.
Yes, he was. Yay! Thank you, Ethel. Thank you for throwing the horror girl a bone.
I gotta throw some horror in there. You know, you gotta do it. It's what we do. Science fiction and horror very closely connected. I'd be remiss if I mention one while I talk about the other.
Sci-fi, they're conjoined almost. Sci-fi and horror are almost conjoined.
And so you had him. You also had Rob Paulson, not to be confused with Robert Paulson, who does have a name in death as a Project Mayhem member. He was the voice of Hydro-Man in the Spider-Man animated series, and he was also the voice of Stanley Ipkiss in the Mask animated series. And Trench, you're gonna like this. He was Yakko in Freakazoid, and he was in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh. Yeah. Which incarnation of Sonic the Hedgehog? The first one or one of the other ones? There's so many.
The TV show that's affectionately referred to by fans as Sat AM, as it was listed in the TV guide.
Gotcha.
Which, if that doesn't date a person, what will? Mentioning good old TV guide.
Oh, God damn it. Don't expose us, Ethel. Not in that way. I don't mind being exposed. Marty's not even in the audience. Don't expose us.
I know, Jen, you only want to be exposed when Marty's around. I got you.
Yeah. Well, if you people want to watch, that's fine. But Marty's kind of uptight about that.
We had.
Oh, this is normal at this point.
Yeah, it's to be expected. We had both those guys lending their voice to Arthur. We had Kay Lenz lending her voice to American Maid, which she was Sandy Sinclair in the horror movie House.
Very cool.
And she was also in an episode of the TV show House, not related to the horror movie.
I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. And
not to get off subject, Ethel, but Ben Grimm does bring up a point. Kids today don't know what Saturday mornings would mean to like me, you, or him, or they don't remember that, do they? Because that's something that was just so ingrained in our childhood. But you younger kids don't know that was a big deal. Saturday mornings was a really big deal when we were growing up.
Yeah, what do kids have to look forward to now? Infomercials?
I don't know. I mean, I guess they've got you guys have got streaming channels, so I guess, but it's not the same thing. Like, there's nothing about like getting a big old bowl of cereal, getting up early, and like for me, it was Garfield and Friends. That was the one I would get up for. But I mean, there was just something magical. It was like your day off. It was like your kid's day off. Like, okay, I don't have to go to school. I can just have a big bowl of cereal. And I was an only child, so it was my Zen time.
Yeah, no, you're totally right, Jen. It's your day off because like you have to go to school all week long. You got to listen to your teachers tell you this, that, and the other thing, and they give you all the homework. You got the annoying kids at lunchtime. You got the annoying kids at recess, and you just want to relax and unwind and watch some cartoons. God damn it! And so you get up, and it'd be weird because like I remember every day before school getting up, such a pain. I didn't want to wake up. Oh God, I gotta get up. I gotta be at school 7:45. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Oh God, that's so early. Bullshit. I can't get up that early, but Saturday morning, oh no, your ass is up at 6 a.m. You're like, oh boy, cartoons.
Exactly. And usually your parents, or at least my parents, would sleep in. And since I didn't have any brothers and sisters, I had it to myself, and we could watch what we wanted to watch. It was sort of like our own little taste of independence because we could pick what we. Now, I guess if you had brothers and sisters, maybe it was a little bit different, but you didn't have to share. You could watch what you wanted to watch. So
yeah, and that's how it was for me. I'm an only child, so like I had the run of whatever I wanted on TV most of the time, pretty much all the time, and yeah, I'd get up, I'd watch it, and it was great because back in the day, Saturday mornings they weren't about the infomercial, they weren't about the news magazine TV show for your mom and dad who getting up and they're having their coffee and their toast and their belching and farting at the kitchen table, and you're like, no, it was about getting up and watching some cartoons. And you had at least, if you didn't have cable, you had at least 3 solid channels that you could flick back and forth through to catch cartoons.
Yeah, and then sometimes, God forbid, like 2 stations were playing cartoons you wanted to watch at the same time.
Oh. It was the worst. I used to have that problem with Beetlejuice, and I forget what the other one was, but there was Beetlejuice and one other show, and they were on the same time slot, and it's like, don't make me choose!
Life's hard enough, damn it.
And that was back in the day when you're like, oh, my life is so difficult, I can't watch both. Oh, this is horrible, I'm going to miss one. It's like, that's nothing, kid. That's nothing, kid.
Buckle up, kiddo.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Wait till you find out about taxes.
Oh, I know. But you want to go back and tell those little kids, enjoy this time. You have no idea how good you have it right now.
But it was great. And this was by the way, got to point out we got Kelly in the thing. Hey, Kelly.
Welcome.
This was of course back in the heyday of like I would say that the 90s, early to mid 90s were probably the best time to watch cartoons.
I would agree.
As a kid.
I would agree.
There was probably by and large there was the most children's programming available in that morning time slot across is a multiple of channels. Like if you had cable, forget about 3 channels. You had like 10, maybe 12 channels to choose from.
Mm-hmm. You could, yeah. USA Cartoon Express too. That was another big thing.
You had USA Cartoon Express. You had the Cartoon Network, which always showed cartoons, but Saturday morning was like their special morning.
Yeah. It really was. It's just a good time. I'm sorry, Trench. You were like probably two old people doing it back in their day, but it's kind of sad that like you guys didn't get to experience that. I'm kind of like that sounds condescending, but it's true. I'm kind of sorry for you guys.
I get it. The closest thing I think we had to that was there was a couple channels when I was staying with my grandma. She didn't have cable and stuff, and they would have WB Kids on Saturday morning and Fox Kids, and they would have shows like Chaotic and Sonic and Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. But cool. If you had cable, there was like cartoons on all the time usually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I didn't have cable for the longest time, so like I had just my 3 channels, but that was enough. Like you had until on some channels you had till 11 o'clock. Other channels, I think Fox went the latest for the cartoons because I think you had till 2 or 3.
I didn't watch Fox too often. I was a CBS girl. Occasionally I'd stray to NBC or ABC, but generally I liked a lot of cartoons that was on CBS for some reason.
CBS had what was it, Bump in the Night?
Yeah, ABC had Bump in the Night because I would watch it because I liked the claymation and it had monsters and stuff, so it was a little different. I liked that one. No one remembers Bump in the Night.
Yeah, nobody ever talks about Bump in the Night, and nobody ever talks about Mr. Bogus either.
Oh yeah, Mr. Bogus.
Mr. Bogus, which that was on Fox, and that one you had to get up super early for because they were just like, yeah, no, we're not putting this in a prime time slot. Your ass is up at 5:30 for that.
I know. And Tales from the Crypt, the kids' version of Tales from the Crypt was also another one I remember really liking as a kid. They weren't good, but still.
And didn't they have the animated Addams Family as well?
They did, and I would. You bet your ass I watched that. I did. Yeah, it just was a good time.
Yeah, it was great, and I wish. Like, I don't know why they don't do it. We've got all these streaming channels. Why don't they provide, like, a lot of these channels have all these shows, especially Disney, the bastards at Disney. Why don't you have a feature on your streaming service where it's like a block of these shows in their original broadcast order, like as they would be broadcast back to back? Why don't you have a feature where you have a playlist that people can just click on it and, have Saturday morning at their beck and command? What's your problem, Disney?
Well, Ethel, there's IMDb has their own where it's kind of like channels, and you can put on a channel, and the channel has a theme. Like one is Doctor Who, another one's like older movies and stuff like that. And they have a Nickelodeon one that does like cartoons, and like they kind of do that, but like not as like that, like exactly what you said. It's more like they play a lot of the same shows over, but some is like a regular TV network where they have a bunch of shows and they'll play them in an order. So it's like watching TV.
Yeah.
Like, well, Pluto had that for a while. Pluto still has that, I think. I haven't been able to access it for a while, but yeah.
Pluto has it. And a few of other ones have it.
God, we're talking about it like it's an old, antiquated thing, which I guess it is.
That's what happens, Jen. I'll turn into oldie Olderson at some point. It'll happen to all you young whippersnappers out there. You just wait.
Yeah. Enjoy being young. Enjoy being young. Because like 1 minute you're cruising and you're 26 and I got all the time in the world, and then all of a sudden 40's like hi and 50's gonna be right there next to you.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, but you explained it much better.
Yeah.
Ben's got the explanation. But circling back to who was in this show, I know we got way off. We got distracted reminiscing about Saturday morning, Hey,
I'm
it's
sorry
okay.
about that. It's just Ben brought up a good point, and I'm like, I'm sorry for people that didn't have what we had.
Well, it's deeply connected to what we're talking about because the Tick was a big part of Saturday morning, at least for me, as much as the X-Men and the animated Spider-Man series were a big part of my Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
It's part of it. It's part of it. You'd watch that. You'd watch Beetlejuice. Sometimes sometimes I'd watch Winnie the Pooh because that was on.
Yeah, the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, right?
Yeah. Oh bother!
I was on CBS watching Garfield eat lasagna.
Oh, Garfield was great. Garfield and Friends.
And Ernest had a show. It wasn't a cartoon, but they played it in the same block. Ernest had a show for a while, and I remember watching that. Hey, Vern, it's Ernest.
He had a TV show.
Yep, for a little while it was on Saturday mornings for kids. It didn't last super long, but I remember I loved it.
This is back in the days when you could start out as a pitchman, and all of a sudden you become a TV celebrity, and then have your own movies. It's weird.
Yeah.
It'd be like the OxyClean guy, Billy Mays, all of a sudden got a TV show.
Mm-hmm. From heaven.
It happened. Or that Seal guy. One minute I cut out in half, and then the minute next he's got a TV show where he's just slapping paste on things. I don't know. But I digress. Circling back, so you had Kay Lenz as American Made in this. You had Cam, not Clam. It looks like I put an L in there, but it's Cam Clark, who was in this. He did Deflator Mouse's voice. He was also in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He was Leonardo.
Oh, so there's a lot of connections.
Yeah, and he voiced Liquid Snake in the Metal Gear video game.
Okay.
And guys, here's a deep dive connection that you'll only know about because of Sci-Fi Sunday. He was Pulse in the episode Black Box of the TV show Viper.
Okay.
Oh.
For a full circle.
Yeah. So
okay,
hearkening back, for those of you that might not have seen, a few Sundays ago, I did a retrospective episode of Sci-Fi Sunday on the TV show Viper, where we talked about Viper, and everybody said, "What is this show?" And Trench had seen an episode, and I liked the way he described it. He's like, "Oh yeah, there's a criminal who becomes a cop, and there's a car, and it does things."
He's not wrong.
A car that does things. It's true. It does things. And also in this show, you got Jess Harnell, who is a man, not a woman. I know his name is Jess, but that's his boy. And he played Sewer Urchin. And he was Wacko in Animaniacs. And he was the Super Skrull. He was the Super Skrull in the animated Fantastic Four TV show. And he was Charlie the Pig in Bonkers. Remember Bonkers?
Oh, God, I do remember Bonkers. I've
never seen that.
Nobody, even people from our generation, a lot of them didn't see that.
Yeah,
why does everybody hate that?
It was a show. It was weird. It wasn't very good. It didn't last long.
I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll defend it. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. It was funny. It had good points. It
was okay. I wasn't a kid that tunes in, but I do remember, for some reason, the intro sticks in my mind. I don't know why.
I thought it was neat.
Math equations, but I can remember Saturday morning cartoon intros.
Well, that's because we actually wanted to watch the cartoons. No one cared about math.
I suppose that's true.
Oh, Ben, You bring up a good point. They should give Flo from Progressive a movie. That'd be great.
That would be. Hey,
Give her a show. They should give her a TV show where she lives next door to the Geico caveman.
Yes. Didn't they have? No, it wasn't the guy. Yeah, didn't the cavemen have a show for like a minute? They did.
Oh.
I knew they did.
You know who's another one they should give a show to? Oh, my bad, Apple. You go first. My bad.
No, go ahead, Trench. Who should they give a show to?
The villain of the show should be the Allstate Danger guy.
That's a good one.
Oh, Mayhem.
Mayhem guy.
So that was funny.
Main bad guys, GMC. There's a few main bad guys in this.
Yeah, in the animated series, you've got characters like Chairface Chippendale, and you've got the Terror, of course, and you've got I think his name is El Cid. He's a sunflower.
And Roman God of the Otta Duck. I like that one as well.
Roman God of the Otta Duck. Oh my God! There was one where you had a guy that was just a giant tongue.
Yeah.
And you had Brainchild, who was a kid.
A little asshole of a kid.
A little asshole of a kid with his dog and his sister who always said, "Stop splaining! Stop splaining!"
And man-eating cow.
Yep, man-eating cow. And Joseph Stalin.
Yeah. I wonder if that went over any kids' heads.
Wait, Stalin's in this show?
Huh?
Stalin's in this show?
Yeah, in the animated series.
Oh my God. That's awesome. It's great because they probably couldn't get Hitler, so they got the second best thing.
I never thought of it that way, Trent.
There was even an episode where the Tick went up against a mustache. Yeah, the Tick woke up one day and he had a mustache. And it turned out the mustache was evil. And the mustache kept writing him notes because it could grab pencils and write. And because it was a mustache, it only spoke French. And the Tick didn't understand. And he's like, "Stop it, I don't understand your crazy moon language."
Again, he's very endearing. It's a very endearing character. I can see why this got so many other shows and everything else. I can see why this was just like a little thingamajigger for a comic thing, and then it turned into such a big thing. The character is very endearing.
Yeah, it's just a lot to love about it. You can I defy anybody to watch an episode of the animated series and not smile at least once. Maybe not laugh if you're in a bad mood, but there's no way you can't watch an episode of this and not at least smile.
Yeah, and not every show can say that.
Yeah, because
nice
the jokes, the jokes are just it's like it's not even just like they tell straight out jokes or it's just a situation comedy. It's just a lot of it's just friggin' bizarre, and it's funny because it's just bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was an episode of the animated series where El Cid was raising an army of sentient corn, and the Tick and Arthur had to infiltrate the army. So they just took ears of corn and stuck them to them. And when they got up to the guy guarding the gate, he asked them who they were, and they're like, we're part of the army of corn. And they're like, "Oh yeah," and they're like, "Yeah, we're colonels." It's funny.
It kind of what it reminded me of when I was watching it is a little bit of Danger Mouse. It kind of that same kind of really off the wall humor reminded me a little bit of Danger Mouse when I was watching this.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, that same kind of
Danger Mouse vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, it does have kind of even though it's not a British show, it does have kind of the British sensibilities in a way, though, with the off the wall wackiness. Yeah.
Yeah, and the way like it'll tell a joke straight faced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you just have the most absurd scenario, and it's just like they'll play it off as like, "Yep, that's what's happening."
We're going with this.
Oh, and finally, another person I got to highlight as a cast member of the animated series is you had Kimmy Robertson, who played Dot, Arthur's sister, and she was Gloria Forrester in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And she was also Feather Duster in Disney's Beauty and the Beast.
Really? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. So Feather Duster is in this.
Not all shows can say they've got a feather duster from Disney in their show. That's pretty high quality.
You're getting all the big names.
Woohoo! Fancy.
You got Michelangelo, you got Leonardo, you got Mickey Dolenz, and you got Feather Duster. What more do you want?
Really, as a 90s kid, you can't ask for any more.
Like, that's cream of the crop right there. But the show was great. It ran 94 to 97, so obviously very successful as far as cartoons go. A lot of cartoons don't make it that long, especially in the 90s.
Yeah, that did run a good while.
And for a show that's not built on a property that's super popular, like it's not like it was X-Men or Spider-Man,
or recognizable kind of thing.
Yeah, it wasn't Tiny Toons, but it was built off of this little tiny comic book that was based off of a newsletter mascot. Mm-hmm. And it survived. It became big, and it had like I think Taco Bell had some toys. I think Burger King had some toys at one point. So it had some fast food tie-ins and like. Did you
ever have any of the toys, Ethel?
I didn't have any of the toys, but back in the day, I was a member of the Fox Kids Club. Jen, you remember the Fox Kids Club?
I do. I was never a member, but that always seemed cool to me. But you were a member. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my card because they give you a little teeny tiny paper card, but you join the Fox Kids Club and they'd send you a magazine. They send you Fox Kids magazine. And the Tick would be all over it all the time. Like he'd be on the cover, he'd be in the pages, he'd be everywhere. Like they were pushing the Tick.
Oh, very cool. No, I didn't know you got a magazine. That is neat.
Yeah, so it was great. Like I remember the Fox Kids Club, and it's sad they did away with it. I think it only was around for about 2 or 3 years, and then it kind of went away. But,
do you still have your card?
I do somewhere. I don't know where it is. I think I might even in my comic book collection have an issue or two left over of the Fox Kids Club magazine.
Oh, very neat.
Oh yes, Ben, the Midnight Bomber. What bombs at midnight? That was one of the villains.
Great names for these villains. This show had great names.
Yeah, and there was a long-standing gag in the show where Chairface Chippendale, who was a supervillain, whose head was literally a Chippendale's chair.
Ooh.
He wanted to carve his name into the moon, and he had a giant laser. And he was carving his name into the moon, and of course the Tick and Arthur stop him. But for the rest of the series, the moon says cha. Anytime you see the moon, it's CHA, cha.
Very cool. I am definitely finished watching this tonight.
Oh yeah, they even did a parody of Galactus in the show. The Tick gets blasted off into outer space because he's doing a space mission for NASA, and it goes awry, and he gets blasted off into deep space, and he lands on a giant man who looks exactly like Galactus, and he's just sort of flying through space, and the Tick ends up driving around on his back in a golf cart and like removing small meteorites from his ear and like rubbing the corns on his giant feet.
That sounds sexy.
Yeah, and to go along with the Cha on the moon, he takes a bite out of the moon, and the rest of the series there's a bite out of the moon as well as a Cha.
Oh, very cool. I know what I'm doing tonight.
So yeah, it was continuity.
Hey, John. I'll talk to you later, buddy. We'll maybe I'll stay on for a little bit tonight. I'll open a back room after this. We'll give it a little chat. But yeah, I'll have Trench send you the link when we go off the live portion of the program. But yeah, no, the Tick, Cha, gotta love it. Gotta love their version of Galactus. It's funny.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm definitely checking the rest of this out. Like I only got to see a few episodes, but the ones I did, I liked. Very endearing. And I like the accountant. And how many times can you say you like an accountant?
It was great because everybody assumed he dressed as a bunny rabbit. Moth costume. And he could fly. Arthur can fly. And he doesn't have a super name. He just calls himself Arthur.
Yes.
Like Robin, but Arthur. But Arthur.
So the show was successful, pretty successful for a kids cartoon series, you know. Maybe not as successful as X-Men, but it was pretty much up there. It was up there with X-Men. And it lasted until 97, and then it went away, and we all missed it. But there were other things going on. We all got watching other things. And then suddenly, when nobody was looking, very briefly in 2001, it got a live-action adaptation that barely anybody saw.
I haven't. Gotta be honest, I haven't. But I've heard some people don't like it. The few that have seen it, I've heard some people really had issues with it. Is that true?
Yeah, it's for whatever reason, it's very divisive. Like a lot of people don't like the way it looks. Like that's what I've heard from mostly from people who don't like it, is they don't like the way it looks, and they don't like that the characters in it aren't all the same characters from the TV show. But there's an explanation for that.
Do you like it, Ethel?
I do. I absolutely do. In fact, I was watching it before I fell asleep for my little nap this afternoon. I rewatched a couple episodes. I rewatched the pilot, and I rewatched a couple other episodes before my nap kicked in, and then I woke up and I was like, oh crap, I gotta start the show in like 20 minutes. But that's the divisive thing about it, is its appearance, is the aesthetic, its art direction. People don't like the way the Tick's costume looked. People didn't like that the characters in it aren't the same characters, but they seem to be very close to the characters in the show. Like, for instance, you've got the Tick, you've got Arthur. That makes it the show, you know? The peripheral superheroes, instead of American made, you've got Captain Liberty. Instead of Deflator Mouse, you've got Batmanuel. You know, so it's a little bit different, But I actually kind of like the direction they went with it. The reason they changed the characters, the supporting characters in the show, wasn't because they wanted to have different characters. It actually is because the studio didn't have the rights to all the characters from the comic book or the TV series.
Okay.
They would have done American made if they were legally allowed to, but they weren't.
They just couldn't. Okay. Well, then
So
they did the best they could, basically, with what they could do.
Yeah. So instead we got Captain Liberty, which is a different character, but very much the same. It's a patriotic superhero, just like American Made is. Maybe it's not as goofy a twist because it's not like she's a maid. But, I mean, she's got a Statue of Liberty, barrette, and she's got a little Statue of Liberty torch.
Close. She's close enough. She's close enough. I get what you mean. But I can also see that maybe they should have done it like completely different. Maybe they were too close to the characters. Maybe if they'd been different. I don't know. Maybe not. What do I know?
Well, they could have gone a different direction. They could have made completely separate superheroes that weren't similar. Like, we didn't need a parody on Captain America that's based off of the parody on Captain America from the cartoon. We did. I don't think it hurts. Yeah. I don't think it hurts. Batman, well, that's a great character. I don't care what anybody says. I thought that was funny. They couldn't use Deflator Mouse, which was the name was German for bat. Deflate. If you guys don't know that, you probably do. But Deflator Mouse is German for bat. Is the joke. It's a character based on Batman. Well, in this, they couldn't use Deflator Mouse, so they used Batmanuel. So instead, he's Latino, and he's a parody on Batman, and he's very vain and very into himself, and it's funny. It's funny. Yeah. It's a funny joke. I like it.
And then who you've got playing him also. I mean, you can't ask for a better person to play him than that.
Yeah, you got Nestor Carbonell. No I on the end of that. I don't know why I did that. Who was the mayor from Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, Batman movies.
So, Jesus, we got all kinds of connections going here. Hi, Scott.
That's Scott.
Oh, we got Stevens. What's up, dude? Welcome to the show. Yeah, it's great. You know, it's a great connection there, and I enjoyed that. That take on it. I don't think it hurts it, but people have issues with Outlook. I heard a lot of people complain that the Tick, his face is just out there, like there's no top portion of the mask, like in the cartoon and the comics. That's such a nitpick, honestly.
People love to nitpick, though.
Yeah, and of course, I gotta mention the cast. We already mentioned Nestor, but you have Patrick Warburton as the Tick, David Putty from Seinfeld as the Tick. He was also in an episode of Quantum Leap. He was in the episode called The Leap Home, Part 2. He played Blaster in the Leap Home Part 2. So if you're a Quantum Leap fan, you'll recognize David Putty in that. Which a lot of people, well, I guess maybe if you're a fan of the Tick, you'll know this, but if you're not a big Tick fan or a big Patrick Warburton fan, he himself loves this character. He loved playing the Tick. He enjoys the cartoon. He enjoys the franchise. He's a big fan of it. That's why he wanted to be involved in the project. And he actually ended up being a producer on the Amazon version of the Tick, which Trench has recently watched some of.
Yeah. Alpha, can I ask a question?
Hey, Brian. Yeah, sure.
Hi, Brian.
John mentioned Everybody Loves Raymond earlier. Did the brother of him voice the original Tick? The brother from Everybody Loves Raymond?
Brad Garrett was in the 94, 90 to the 97 one. I don't know if he was in for the reboot.
Oh.
He or for the next one, was he? I don't think he was. Was he?
Yeah, but he was in the original, right? Because I always thought that him and Patrick Warburton sounded very similar, so it's good casting.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is a really good point, Trenchy. They do kind of have those really deep voices. I get what I didn't even think of that. That's a good point.
I never see it, but I know what people you're talking about, so I know the voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. I'm a big Everybody Loves Raymond fan.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah.
I've not seen much of Everybody Loves Raymond, but I'll take your word for it.
It's cute. It's cute.
He makes his children be rocks in the school play.
Yeah, and it's one of those few sitcoms. It's not really about the kids. It's more about the adults.
Now, circling back again to the cast as I must do, because you guys know I have to tell you who's in the show. I have to tell you like what else they've done. I don't know why it's compulsory at this point. I can't help myself. I need to do it. You got David Burke in this version of the Tick as Arthur. He was Stephen Price in Star Trek Voyager, Someone to Watch Over Me, if you've seen that episode. So we got our Star Trek connection, guys. Got another one. He was also Kevin Fox in the Sci-Fi Channel Invisible Man TV show. If you guys have seen that.
No, I haven't. No.
I gotta see it.
Like, I'm still depressed that I can't find season 2 on DVD because season 1 has a cliffhanger. I've seen it, but I would love to be able to watch it as I did before. That's just a minor gripe. But no, if you guys haven't seen the Sci-Fi Channel's Invisible Man TV show, it actually was pretty good for a Sci-Fi Channel production. This was around the same time they were doing Farscape, so it was like, Sci-Fi Channel was on a roll.
Very cool. Very cool. I'll definitely have to check it out. Some of those sci-fis aren't bad. Like, people will roll their eyes when you say Sci-Fi Channel, but some of them weren't bad.
Oh, yeah, the Sci-Fi Channel had great shows. Mm-hmm. Like, they did Z Nation, and Z Nation's awesome.
That's true.
But they also did, what the hell is it called? They also did, oh my God. They also did Van Helsing, and they also did, what the fuck is that Western one? I can't remember what the hell it was.
Wynonna Earp.
Yes, thank you, Trench. Thank you. Wynonna Earp.
I didn't watch it. I thought Van Helsing was okay. It's not. I thought it was decent. It's interesting.
In fairness, who has done a good Van Helsing? Like, even horror people have not done. There are movies with Van Helsing.
Van Helsing's not even in the show.
Oh.
I don't think he is. The woman's Van Helsing, but they never call her Van Helsing, I remember.
Gotcha. No, her name is Vanessa in the show, if I remember correctly. And she's like the descendant of Van Helsing, I guess. And it's
because that's the Vampire Apocalypse one, right? Where they're in the bunker because of all the vampires.
Yeah, and it feels more like a zombie show than a vampire show, and it's all right. It did have a shower scene where you got to see some man cheeks, so I will give it that.
But man cheeks can only take you so far. Even great man cheeks, they can only take you so far.
It's not horrible. I mean, it's not as good as some of the other shows mentioned, but I think it's okay.
I get you.
I have it on DVD.
I wouldn't go that far.
I I don't know. Like that might tell you somewhat about the quality of the program. But yeah, it's whatever. Sci-Fi Channel, it can be really good or it can be really bad. It's like tossing that ball on the roulette wheel. Sometimes it's going to come up 13 red, and sometimes it's going to come up 27 black. You don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
What it is.
They also played Passions for a while. That wasn't their show, but they did play it for a while. Because I'm that person that would bring that piece of trivia to the table.
We'll give it props for Passions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One of these days we've got Ethel. One of these days, because if there was ever a soap opera that dipped into sci-fi, we have to do a stream on Passions, please. I know so much. I would bring so much to the table, please.
Oh, well, definitely. I think we should do that one on your channel though, because that's more because Passions is more horror than sci-fi, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but there is some sci-fi stuff. Like there's horror stuff too. Don't get me wrong; it's very gothic kind of thing. But it's weird. You can't say it like you could say Dark Shadows is kind of a soap opera too. But Passions was like Dark Shadows on crack in a good way, in the best way possible. Trenchy, there's incest too because
God!
So of course there's incest.
You were selling me on it with just a Dark Shadows vibe, and then you're like incest, and oh no!
I figured I'd warn you because I figured you'd get that. You'd show up at the thing and you'd be like, "Damn it, Jen, incest!"
Game of Thrones has incest, and Star Wars, I guess, kind of has incest, and those are good. So I guess I'm not saying incest is a good thing, but it's. Sometimes there are good shows with incest in it. I can't believe I just said that.
Tracy, next time you want to speak positively about incest, let your Annie Jen do it, okay? You did a great job, but I feel like we would both be more comfortable.
Yes, you do all that.
Yeah, I will have to make sure it's a night where Marty's off. Like, we have to get the whole gang in it. And Scott, I know you know Passions. Yeah, Passion grows for life.
But no, we'll definitely have to do a stream on that. I got to rewatch some episodes of that. I'll have to find some and rewatch it because I got to brush up on it. I didn't get to see a whole lot of it when it was on, but I did see some of it. I did get to watch some of it.
A thing. Like, if we had time, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ethel, but we should do a thing where we should have a watch along. That would be awesome.
Oh.
I think people would show up and we can find out. See, I'm on Team Teresa. Did you watch enough to the show to be on Team Gwen or Team Teresa? I was a Team Teresa girl myself.
I didn't watch enough to make an informed decision, but I was leaning towards Teresa.
Yeah, Gwen was a bitch. Trenchy, you'll love it.
Okay.
There's a witch and there's a doll, and I'm sorry, we're getting off track, and I so apologize, Ethel. I'm so sorry. But like Trenchy, you're gonna love this. Trust me. There's so much to say besides incest.
I like some soap operas, I guess, so maybe. I like Dark Shadows.
Well, this is like Dark Shadows, but on crack. A priest goes to hell multiple times and eventually loses his sight and then gains his sight. You'll love it.
Oh, I like the idea of a priest going to hell. That should happen more often.
Yeah. Well, he's a good priest, but, I'm sorry, Ethel. I'm sorry for sidetracking.
It's all right. It's all right. It is what it is. Yeah. So circling back once again. So you had David Burke in that. He was an Invisible Man. You had Liz Vassy, guys. She was Kristen in an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation called Conundrum. And she was also in an episode of Quantum Leap called Goodbye, Norma Jean. where she played like this psycho wannabe actress who tries to kill Marilyn Monroe.
That's by Norma Jean. Good choice. I get
it. So, you know, it has that going for it. And of course, The Tick 2001, not very successful, but it had some cool things about it. Like the Tick's antennas, very expressive face of Patrick Warburton. They'd work together because they had a puppeteer on set, and he'd actually move the antennas individually to go with Patrick's facial movements and mannerisms. So it really made this great. It was this great effect. It made it very silly at times, and it would just add so much to his performance because you've got these little things on his head moving this way and that way depending on like what he's saying or his expressions. It's very funny.
Very cool. Yeah, I can see that.
It's very whimsical. I already mentioned Deflator Mouse, American Made. They couldn't have them. Batman, well, Captain Liberty is what we got. The other thing is, they spent a lot of time trying to get the suit, the Tick suit, right on the show. Like every episode for this show, which I believe there was 16 episodes, I think. It does not say. I forget how many exactly. There aren't a lot. There's only 2 discs, and this is the entire series. They made a new suit, a whole new suit for every episode they did for Patrick to wear. So each time you watch an episode of this, it's a different Tick suit.
That would be expensive, would it not?
That was very expensive. And yeah, sometimes they'd have him have feet, and sometimes they'd have him have shoes, like blue Tick shoes. But the close-ups, they always had like the humanoid feet, like the toes, Tick toes.
Tick toes.
They were concerned about getting the Tick look down, which I think they did a good job. I like the look, honestly, but some
people wanted it in animation, or at least most people wanted it more in animation. Was the cost also a reason as to why they didn't last too long? Because I would think that would get quite expensive having to do a new suit every episode.
You would think it'd be very expensive. You know, it didn't have a very big budget for the special effects. So like, if you're expecting it to have these big, awesome explosions and these big, you know, extravagant scenes of superheroes, like, I mean, you're not going to get that. You're going to get a comedy first and an action superhero show second. That's the nature of it.
I get that. I can see where there would be problems. I can see where there would be some problems with some fans. I get it.
Yeah, it's not about the physical feats and superhero antics. It's about the comedy that you get from them. Like they have this great fight that happens all off camera. You never see it, where they have to fight a villain called Apocalypse Cow.
I love that.
Which it's a 60-foot cow that shoots fire from its teats.
That's awesome. Amazing.
But you never see Apocalypse Cow. You just hear all about the fight. And apparently Arthur gets burned by Apocalypse Cow, but not badly. And apparently the Tick defeats Apocalypse Cow by throwing a dump truck at it.
Oh, we don't see the dump truck either.
You don't throw the dump truck, you just hear about it. But it's more about the situation and the people describing it.
I get it.
And, yeah. Another way it differs from the cartoon is instead of having a diner where they all hang out at this Chinese restaurant that has a bar called the Lonely Panda.
Okay.
And there's this funny scene where like the Tick there's a fortune cookie, like because they've just had dinner or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, another fantastic treat from the Orient," and he picks the fortune cookie up and he pops the whole thing in his mouth and starts eating it, and like everyone's just kind of look at him because they know that there's a note in there. All of a sudden, he stops and he pulls the fortune out of his mouth and he's like, "Oh my God, it's a message from my teeth."
Okay, that's so stupid. It's funny. Okay, I might have to check. I was just going to stop at the animated show, but I might go on to the actual like live action show. That's worth checking out.
It's pretty funny because you get some situations like that. There's another episode where there's a group of rogue communists from Russia, and they want to release a killer robot that was built in the 1970s that was designed to attack and kill Jimmy Carter.
Yay, Jimmy Carter.
With the peanut guy?
No, former President Jimmy Carter.
Oh, wait, who's the one that made Peanuts?
Are you talking about the Peanuts, like Peanuts, the Peanuts kids like Snoopy and stuff, or are we talking about actual Peanuts?
He was a peanut farmer.
You're talking about George Washington Carver. He was never a president.
Oh, my bad, I got confused.
No, this is Jimmy Carter. Carter, not Carver.
Yeah.
Which is great. You got this scene where the tick's in the elevator with Jimmy Carter, and Jimmy Carter's terrified because there's this big blue weirdo standing in front of him, and like they do that thing from Seinfeld where you don't see him from the front, you only see him from the back, so you just see the back of his head and his back. And he's like, "President Carter, we're here to protect you." And the tick's like holding onto his head, and it's like, "It's okay. I believe you. We'll keep you safe." And he's like squeezing Jimmy Carter's head. It's very funny.
That sounds amazing.
So you gotta check it out. It's very funny. The Russian robot is called Red Scare. He's got a sickle and a hammer as weapons.
Sounds awesome.
It's very silly. So yeah, no, this show, people throw it out before they even see it, or they see a little bit of it and they say, "Oh no, fuck it." Like, give it a chance. That's all I'm saying, guys. Give it a chance. It's not the greatest in the world, but it's fun. Merits.
Give ticks a chance.
Give it a chance.
Give a chance. Yeah.
So unfortunately it flopped. It had some moments. They had what's his face from Kids in the Hall was in an episode.
Which one? Because I love Kids in the Hall.
I can't remember his name. He was the guy who, I think it was the guy who did Cabbage Head.
Oh, Bruce McCullough. Yes,
Bruce McCullough. Thank you. He was in an episode.
I love Cabbage Head. I love Kids in the Hall. Yay, Cabbage. Now you really sold me.
They had this concept where Arthur goes to an insane asylum because he's trying to be a superhero, and Bruce McCullough puts on his Mothman costume and he's like dancing around in his office to the theme song to The Greatest American Hero.
Oh, very awesome.
I gotta see that show.
So it's very funny, and of course they make some jokes in the show because the superhero relationship of superhero and sidekick. They make a lot of innuendo jokes, like to homosexual relationships, where it's like they're not dating each other, but because they're sidekick and superhero, you sort of have that joke.
Very cool.
You know what I mean? So you got that running through 2 episodes, which is pretty funny. There's a lot they do with that that's funny and interesting.
Very cool.
Very cool. Oh, he was a peanut farmer, Full Moon. I didn't know Jimmy Carter was a peanut farmer. I know about Billy.
Billy Beer.
Yeah.
Billy, what was it? Yeah, Billy Beer, right? Billy Beer.
Billy Beer. Of course, guys. Of course, I know about the beer before I know about the peanuts. Of course, I do. Of all people, you know.
Pickle.
But you guys know I like my beer.
Christian has
anyway.
a thing just as a collector's thing in his room. He found one and he it hasn't been opened. He just has it as a collector's item in his room. Thinks it's cool.
I have it on very good authority that it tastes terrible if you drink it after all these years.
He's not going to. He just thinks it's kind of conversation piece. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. But
we all
no,
are, Moon. We all are.
Yeah, it's been one of those nights, Full Moon. We all experienced the age gap tonight. It happens. You know, damn kids with your baggy pants and your hula hoops and your pagers and fax machines. Get off my lawn.
My bad. Should I leave?
No, Trent. No. Stay right where you're at. No. Sit your ass down, boy. No, you're going nowhere. Don't go anywhere.
No, you can't. You're me and Marty's love child that we had out of wedlock in the church.
This is now a thing, apparently.
Yeah, this is now a thing. Ethel, in case you didn't watch, we talked nunsploitation, and I dressed up as a nun, and Marty dressed up as a priest, and we told everyone that Trenchy was our love child. It makes sense.
I missed it. I think Marty sent me a link, but I missed it because was this 19 hours ago?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, I was at work. I missed it, but
I figured.
I'm gonna check it on the replay. I'm always at work, guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be. Just, you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's okay. You didn't miss much, but you do. But that's the new lore. Trenchy is me and Marty's love child.
So Trenchy, how does it feel? Not only are you now the one, but you're now the love child
of a priest and a nun.
Of a priest and a nun.
It's the thing that has happened.
You could have been on DMC.
DMC, talk about a difficult birth. Oh my God, how would that even work? Goodness.
Especially since Marty's 2 years younger than me and DMC.
Well, I suppose it's a time machine.
Oh, it's like the Terminator.
Kind of.
But so yeah, the Tick, the love child of a comic book and an animated series. It didn't do too well. It kind of flopped. We were all sad. But then in 2016, guys, it was back, brand new, on Amazon with Bezos money. Yeah, the Bezos coming through once again. We got the Tick in 2016, which Patrick Warburton not reprising his role as a Tick, but coming back to be producer, and Ben Udland coming back to be involved in production as well and writing. So you get the original creator back, so he's involved in all three, which means it's going to continue to have the same spirit, and it does. It fucking does. It's great. Trent, you've recently seen a few episodes. Your thoughts, please.
Okay, I watched the first 6 episodes. episode 1 was kind of weak because they were kind of doing this thing where, well, they kept doing it where they're like, oh, is the tick real or is he not real? When you know he's real because he's fighting bad guys, but like for some reason they tried to make you think he's not real for a little bit, which is weird. But besides that, I really enjoy all the characters. Like, I like Overkill and Miss Lint. And I like how they play it seriously, too, because Miss Lint's power is electricity, but her things get broken, and, like, her power summons Lint because of all the electric stuff, and she gets Lint all over her, but it's played seriously, and all the characters are good. There's a character called Goat in it, which is awesome, and there's Tinfoil Kevin, who's one of my favorite characters, who the tick just lets into Arthur's house for some reason. And then Tinfoil Kevin tells the bad guys where they're at. They're at a birthday party, and of course Tinfoil Kevin has to tell the bad guy that they're at the birthday party, causing lots of mayhem. It's a great show.
And of course, Tinfoil Kevin is the homeless fellow that lives outside by the apartment.
Yeah. I love it because they're sitting there and like Arthur is worrying about this birthday party, and then Tick's just in there with Tinfoil Kevin, and he's got aluminum, and he's making the hat out of it, and the Tick's like, "You're making your own hat. That is neat."
Very funny. And like, there's a great scene, and I think it's the second episode or the third episode where we're in the diner or maybe they're in the house. I forget if it's a diner or house. And the Tick is just drinking coffee out of the coffee pot as if it's a mug.
Yeah. It's right.
Very funny. The costume, a little bit closer to what people are going to expect from the animated series. It's got the thing over the eyes. So that's cool, I guess. I go back and forth over which costume I like better, the one from the first film, series, or the one from this one. But I don't know. It's cool. They're both kind of unique in their own little way. Peter Serafinowicz, if I'm pronouncing that correct, is the guy who plays the Tick in this. He does a pretty good job. I liked him as the Tick.
Yeah.
He was the voice of Darth Maul in Star Wars Episode 1.
Very cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
Kind of cool. And he was Pete in Shaun of the Dead.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Thank you for throwing another horror bone.
Yeah, I got it. Horror comedy to go with science fiction comedy.
Yeah, gotcha.
You got Griffin Newman in this as Arthur, who was Orko in the Masters of the Universe rejuvenation, revitalization. What's it called?
Reimagination. Yeah.
The imagination.
Well, was it the new Kevin Smith one, or was it the original one, or the bad or the one from the 2000s? And then there's the bad CGI one.
It's the newest one.
Kevin Smith.
Oh, Kevin Smith.
He was also in something I haven't even heard of. He was in George Lucas talk show, The Stage Show.
I've never heard of that either. Wow, okay. That's a thing.
He played Watto in that, so there's that.
Okay.
You got Yara Martinez as Miss Lint in this. She was in Southland. She was Marlea in Southland, so there's that. You got Valerie Curry as Dot in this. She was Charlotte in what the hell is it called? Twilight Breaking Dawn.
Oh no, why'd she gotta be in that one? That's the worst one.
I've only
Well,
read the first Twilight book. That's it. That's as far as I go with that shit.
I've seen all the movies because my mom's a fan. I like the third one. The third one's I will die on this hill. The third one's a good movie, but everything else it ranges from okay to horrible.
Trenchy, isn't that the one where he imprints on the baby and he's kind of like turned on?
No, that part 3 is not that one, but yes, Breaking Dawn part 1 is where he imprints on the baby and falls in love with it, which my mom tried to explain to me it's not bad, but I just tell her to not do that. So,
it's not going to end well. It's going to end like Serbian film.
I love Serbian film.
Part 3 is actually good. It's by the guy that did 30 Days of Night, so it's kind of badass.
Yeah, I get that.
Right. Well, she was also Valerie Curry was also in Veronica Mars. That helps, Trench.
Oh, I've seen that's with Kristen Bell, right? And she's a detective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that a little bit.
You got Scott Spicer as Overkill. He was Fisk in The Young and the Restless.
Cool.
TV show, the soap opera. And you got Brendan Hayes as Superion, and he was Andy Good in what the hell is it called? Oh yeah, he was Andy Good in the Sarah Connor Chronicles. There we go. Jesus, if I could talk tonight.
Oh,
very cool. So you have a fairly good cast.
Yeah, and he was also Ethan Raines in the MacGyver reboot that was on TV not too long ago.
Very cool.
And finally, as Trench has mentioned, you got Jackie Earl Hayes as the Terror. He was Rorschach in Watchmen.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also Freddy Krueger in the 2010 Freddy Krueger movie.
He was really, like, the movie is horrible, but he was legit. It was a sad thing because he was legitimately good. That was just a god-awful movie.
Yeah, and it's sad seeing him in this, playing both scary and funny at the same time. It's like, why couldn't they channel that in, like, the Freddy movie? And that's not his fault. That was just the writing was bad.
Yeah, I agree with, like, I hate that movie, but he was, like, that was not his fault why that movie didn't work.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, he was really good. Like, he was trying. He almost could make that bullshit work. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah. I like him in this show when he's in Miss Lint's house and he accidentally poisons her ex-boyfriend or ex-husband with platypus poison, and he's like, "Oh, he'll be fine. He'll just seizure. Oh, he'll just get over it with a seizure in an hour. Look, he's foaming from the mouth. That's a good sign. Like, he's really funny in this."
Very cool.
He's like, don't kill people because they call you names. Kill people because it's fun.
So it has moral lessons in it too.
Yes, because the one girl's getting bullied, and Miss Lint's getting bullied because she's getting the lint on her and stuff. And then he's like, "Yeah, don't kill her because of that. Kill him because it's fun."
And there was a fun thing for Earl Hines there, or Hales, however you pronounce his name. There's no I in there. Hales or Haley's, however you want to pronounce it. Fun thing for him is he plays the drums in real life. Like he fancies himself a bit of a drummer, and his character, the Terror, has a love for playing the drums. So that was fun for him.
Very cool. Very cool.
And of course, the 2-hour process of getting into the Terror makeup was giving him flashbacks to when he had to do the Freddy Krueger thing. So, like, there was that portion of it that was less than pleasant for him.
Very cool.
Right.
But no, this series is pretty good. Like, it has a lot of legit, good, funny moments. It's not as zany and wacky as this version was, but it definitely has a lot of the same spirit. You know, it's got more of a serious tone every now and again, but it doesn't lose the comedy.
I love it because the Tick gets crazy, man. The Tick will just be sitting there and he'll be like, "You're like an angry rhino, like running through the field." And it's like, what are you talking about?
To backtrack, in this version of the Tick, they have that sort of situation a lot because the Tick likes to come up with a lot of analogies, but they're just insane. And there's an episode where Arthur is having dinner or lunch. He's having lunch with his sister and his mother, and the Tick comes along, and like this is Arthur coming out to them as a superhero, and like he goes over it with the Tick. It's like, we're gonna have a signal. He's like, when I rub my nose, it means crazy talk, change the subject. And like the Tick starts going off, and like Arthur's just rubbing his nose, and he's like freaking out. And he's just all of a sudden, Arthur's just like, crazy talk, change the subject.
Yeah.
But it's very, very funny stuff out of both these shows. In the Amazon version, the Tick fights a lobster. Like a 7-foot lobster. I don't want to spoil too much, but the Tick ends up taking care of lobster babies at some point.
Yay! Were they his lobster babies? Like, did he make?
No, but apparently they're lobster babies. They look like regular lobsters, but they talk, and like they put their claws up because they want to be held.
Aww.
I like how they balance the comedy and the superhero stuff, and even like some of the more dramatic moments, they balance it really well.
Yeah, definitely. There's a good humor action balance to it. This is the Amazon version. There's a lot more action and superhero stuff than you get out of the. I think this was Fox version. What version is this? Who did this? Columbia. This was Columbia TriStar.
Very cool.
Sony Pictures also. Sony Pictures in partnership with Columbia TriStar. So this was Sony Pictures. So like, you know, you got a lot more of that than you would in this, but this is wackier than that. So it's like you got the same show with different actors and different scenarios, but you got the same kind of, like, you can pick and choose. You want a wacky version, you watch this. You want a version that's more like a comedy with superheroes, you watch the other one. I don't know how to describe it, but one's zanier than the other, but they're both equally good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For everybody, kind of. If you don't like one show, you might like the other.
Yeah, it's pick your poison. And if you don't like either live action, I gotta say the cartoon is great. Like, don't be put off because it's on Saturday mornings.
Yeah, I like the cartoon. That's how I'm gonna spend my evening, is watching a few more episodes, and I might venture into the live action.
At some point, I'm gonna buy it on DVD. I'm surprised I don't have it already. I have a bunch of VHS tapes from back when I was doing that of it, but that's probably why I don't have it on DVD yet. But it's definitely in my buy list.
Mm-hmm.
Ethel, another actor I think worth noting is the voice of Danger Boat is actually Alan Tudyk.
Yes.
Because I remember I paused it and they'll tell you what actors are like in the show from Prime for some reason, but it's also kind of useful. And I remember he was in there. I was like, oh, it's the guy from Firefly.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk from Firefly, which I should have mentioned, but I didn't. But yeah, very worth mentioning. It's always good to have a Firefly connection.
Yeah, and Danger Boat's one of the best characters.
You're gonna laugh so hard when he starts coming on to Arthur.
Very cool. It sounds like a fun show.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Jen, if you have Amazon Prime, which I don't know if you do or not, definitely give it a shot.
Okay. Let me finish up the cartoon, and then I might jump in and give it the live action stuff a try.
Yeah, it's a great
slow at first. Oh, my bad.
No, I didn't mean to talk over you. What were you saying, Trench?
I was saying like the first episode and maybe the second. Well, yeah, the first couple episodes are a little slow, but like it starts really picking up and really getting good.
Cool. You give it a little time, then, in other words, kind of give a little patience.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
In some ways, it reminds me of The Boys. It's not serious like The Boys, but it's got more. It's got that darker toned humor to it here and there, mixed in with what you'd expect from a tick.
Okay, cool. I will definitely give it a check out. It sounds like something that's fun, and I do have Amazon Prime, so it's not going to cost me nothing.
Oh, Jen, there's a giant naked man in it.
Oh, thank you! I love that you knew that would be the thing to sell me. That's so sweet.
Well, you don't get to see his private parts, but I think you might still like it. I don't know.
Oh, thank you, Trenchy. That was sweet of you. Thank you. I love that Trenchy. I guess, in fairness, most people watching would know that'll sell it. Thank you, Trench.
You're welcome.
It's definitely worth a watch, and if you have Amazon Prime, you got nothing to lose from watching it because it's free anyway, and you've got 2 seasons to watch. Which makes it sound like it's longer, but these are streaming seasons, so they're like 6 or 8 episodes each, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, I think what killed this show was the first episode, according to Prime, was released in August 15th or August something 2016. Episode 2 through 5 was released in August something 2017. The rest of the season was released in 2018.
Jesus.
And then, yes, I don't know if Prime just got the release thing wrong or if they really released it like that.
Yeah, they didn't do it any favors in succeeding. It's sort of like what they're doing, with The Boys. How long have we been waiting for the next season of The Boys?
Yeah, it's coming out in June, but they gave us, instead of giving us The Boys, they gave us a cartoon, which isn't bad, but I'd rather just see season 3 of The Boys. I don't like that they're like, oh, we'll distract them with this cartoon, even though they've been waiting for 3 years for this show. For the next season of the show, we'll give them a cartoon instead.
Meanwhile, they're shoving that fabulous or marvelous Miss Mavel crap down our throats, which we're not interested in.
I can't be too mad at Amazon because they're going to have Kids in the Hall on the 14th. They're bringing back Kids in the Hall, baby. Woo, yeah!
Oh, like new episodes?
Uh-huh. Yeah, all new episodes. I think starting on the 14th. I could be wrong, but I think it's the 14th. Yeah, I'm a big Kids in the Hall fan, so I'm really looking forward to it. May 14th, I believe.
Well, that'll be great.
Yeah, I love Kids in the Hall.
This is my house.
That's awesome.
I was born here. Fucking
Gavin.
chicken lady.
I love Chicken Lady. Oh, I said Marty, the one where she goes to the mall and the little ride on the horsey. You want me to give you a quarter so you can masturbate in front of my child? Trenchy, have you ever seen Kids in the Hall?
No.
Oh my God, Trenchy, you need to.
Okay.
It's really funny, Trench. You got to see it.
Yeah, and Gavin. I love Gavin. Well, I don't love Gavin, but you know, Gavin.
Jen, remember the running faggots skit?
Oh yeah, with Scott. Yeah, with Scott. Yeah, that was awesome. Buddy Cole. That was who he played. Buddy Cole.
Yes.
Should I be concerned?
About what?
No offense, Jen, but you really like the show, so I need two different. No offense.
Oh, I get you. I mean, it's how does one explain Kids in the Hall? Okay, Trenchy, this is like a pretty clean one, but this one always got me. They have Flying Pig. You remember Flying Pig, Ethel?
Yeah, Flying Pig.
Yeah, and it's just it's a pig, and you're waiting around in lines, and he entertains you while you're in lines. But sadly, tragedy strikes. With telephone poles. Type into YouTube. Just type in Kids in the Hall and type in Chicken Lady or Buddy Cole or some of those, and you'll see what we mean. It's a little more edgier and kind of funnier than some of Saturday Night Live stuff that, you know.
It's a sketch show.
Yeah, but it's really good.
I'll give it a chance, but I'm usually not a fan of sketch shows, but I do like Living Color.
Mm-hmm. You might like this one. It's a little different.
Trenchy, I'm crushing your head.
You'll love it. Well, I don't know if you'll love it, Trenchy, but I'd be interested. It's on YouTube. A lot of the clips and stuff are on YouTube, and you might find something. Oh, thank you. And they have Prime. They're coming back for Prime on the 14th. But familiarize yourself with the stuff from the 90s.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
And they also did a movie called Brain Candy. Brain Candy is hilarious. Like, it didn't do well. It bombed at the box office. But I actually really like Brain Candy.
Yeah, it didn't get a fair shake, I don't think.
Yeah, I thought it was real fun. You have to have kind of an off sense of humor, though, I guess.
Yeah, that explains why it's big with you and I.
Yeah. Christian, when he found out I liked that, he goes, it explains so much about you. Christian, you might like it.
It's either going to be really good or really bad.
Yeah. The Chicken Lady, Trenchy. Ethel's right. The Chicken Lady is awesome.
So I love that one where she goes I gotta say that's my favorite Chicken Lady sketch from that show is where she's in those people's houses. She's like, "This is my house. Yeah, I was born." Like looking at their kitchen table.
What is it? Shut up. I'm gonna kill you, Mama. Oh, baby. What did you do?
I don't know, DMC. I might try it. I don't know. I was thinking when I started doing it, I was thinking about handing it off every every year to somebody else. But I don't know. I kind of like it as my baby. Maybe I'll do something with it again this year. I gotta see what my schedule is. I make the flipping schedule. I gotta see if I've got people in October so that I don't have to be at my job all the time because that requires at least 3 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say that'd be kind of hard to do if you're gonna be working a lot.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe I can figure something out. Maybe I can do a bunch of pre-recorded stuff. It's not as good as live for these kinds of events, but I'll figure something out. Maybe I'll bring it back. We'll see.
That'd be cool. That would be fun. That would be fun.
I don't know. I don't want to get
that far away either. It's really not that far away.
Yeah, it's gaining on us now.
Yeah. Thank God.
The season of the pumpkin will be upon us. I'm glad it was so well received last year. So maybe I should do it again if people really like it.
But don't kill yourself, Ethel. Don't kill yourself.
I might have to. But if I do it, everybody watching, you got to do something for it. You got to participate. I don't care what slot it is. You got to do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was dying. See, I was dying, but I did it.
I don't know how you did it. You didn't sleep hardly.
I didn't sleep at all for like 2.5 days. I was just up straight. Then when it was over, I was supposed to go to bed and sleep, but I stayed up for an additional 3 or 4 hours with John and Trench hanging out in a back room.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. Way off topic, but we're gonna go back and kind of wind things down because I think we've talked everything tick. We talked about the comic book series briefly. We talked about its origins. We talked about the cartoon, which was hugely successful and beloved by me, and apparently maybe soon to be beloved by Jen because I think you're liking it.
Yeah, I am. Thank you, because I would have never gone down this path if it weren't for this subject matter. So thank you guys for introducing me to it. Or at least I knew about it, but I never wasn't interested enough to dive deep till this stream. So if it wasn't for this stream, I wouldn't have dived deep. So thank you guys.
And I'm glad you did, and I'm glad it was that kind of experience because that's another one of the reasons I love to do this show. I don't always pick. Like I often, like a lot of times I pick stuff everybody knows about, but I don't always seem to pick the thing that y'all are familiar with. But one of the reasons I pick what you're all going to know about is because I feel like it's something that maybe you guys might like. It's something that deserves a little attention, that needs some loving.
Now, sometimes that doesn't work, Ethel. I'm still a little pissed at you about the space ape. I'm not gonna lie.
The space ape was great. Are you kidding me? It looked like a Klingon monkey. It was awesome.
You know, colorful clocks on the wall can only do so much. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Well, wait till you see Zontar, the thing from Venus. Not this Friday, but next Friday. Ooh.
Oh God. We'll see. Oh,
You're right, Full Moon. I did that, and then 4 hours later, I was on with you.
I don't know how you did that.
Because I'm crazy. Lots of coffee. Coffee.
Didn't you pass out during our stream though when me and Christian were on? Didn't you? Or were you somewhere else? I can't remember.
I was watching you. I didn't pass out. I was watching you.
Well, you were in the back room with me and John.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember.
Because I remember, because that was when I ate the candy corn that the cats peed on.
It happens.
I'm doing a review. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a review with Marty or if I'm doing a solo review. I've kind of got an idea. But don't be surprised, guys. You guys are going to hear about Darling Julie again. Like, don't you worry. I'm going to do a deep dive. It's going to be awesome.
Remember, Diet Pepsi is an invitation to, well, you know.
Yep. According to this movie, it is. Or if you take a bag boy up to your daughter's room to get the snake to release it out into the wild, that is also an invitation, guys.
And this is why Coca-Cola is superior.
Yeah, exactly.
No Coke, just Pepsi.
I like both. I like Coke a little bit better, but I don't mind Pepsi.
I'll tell you, I don't drink soda, but I was enjoying the Coke Zero Starlight Space Soda.
My mom does too. My mom got some, and she really likes that too.
It's
What
zero
is that?
calories. Huh?
What is that?
Oh, Trench. They made a type of Coca-Cola called Starlight, and it's got like stars and stuff all over the bottle, and it tastes like cherry Coke and menthol, and it's delicious. And they have a 0-calorie version, which I actually like and don't feel guilty about drinking because it's not making me fat.
No.
You're not fat. Thank you, Full Moon. I'm glad you liked the list. Thank you for because if I would have never done a deep dive and I would have never found Darling Julia, and where would the world be? That is an awesome movie, Moon. If you haven't seen it, see it. It's awesome. I love that movie. It's one of my new movies. Christian's like, oh God, we're going to be hearing about this movie for a while. So, one of those.
But winding things down as we do, guys. I'm gonna say, any final thoughts on the Tick, the franchise, the cartoon, the live action? Guys, any final thoughts?
Don't have a final thought exactly, but I'm curious. Do you think they'll try to make the show again? Maybe go back to animated? Do you think it'll ever come back?
Well, it's come back twice before. We can always. I think animation. If it came back to animation and it was done in a similar style that it used to be done in, maybe not that new CalArts bullshit that they do now, but if it came back in that traditional style, I would love to see it again. I'd give it a watch. I'd watch it again.
Very cool.
Yeah. Trench, final thoughts?
I just want to say, Jensen, thank you for introducing me to the character. I've not seen the original cartoon, but I am very curious to see it because I really like this 2016 show, and I probably will finish it because I love superhero stuff that's kind of its own thing and kind of silly like this. I love discovering new superhero stuff. So thank you for that, and definitely, check it out. Definitely check out the 2016 show. It's really good. It's and the cartoon and stuff. Cause I bet that's good too.
Very cool. I will, after I finish the cartoon, I will definitely check out the live stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Excellent. So those are our final thoughts. And as I do, we'll give everybody a chance to promote their thing. And as I will always do, I'm going to go to the person who's to the right of me because, hey, you read left to right, you're looking at me, you're going to look at her, take a little look at her. Jen, what's the next thing from the grave? What have you dug up for us? What are we looking forward to?
I just dug up me and Sparky's idea of the best movies of 1983, courtesy of Full Moon. It was his brainchild, his baby. We're just kind of running with it and having a lot of fun and discovering some movies along the way, like movies about grocery men that want to rape women after Diet Pepsi and snake releasing. And that's not even the weird part of the movie. So definitely that video just dropped today. It was a lot of fun. So you guys might want to check it out. Christian put up some good recommendations. I had a couple of others, so you might want to check it out. It's fun. As far as what else is going on, the Trash Picture Show and I will be doing, we've got to play catch up. We will be doing Strokey Man sometime. Marty's got to work up to it, but we will do it sometime, probably this month.
Yeah.
and Christian and I will be doing another Tales from the Crypt. And for next, do I mention next Sunday, Ethel, or do you want to talk about that?
You mention it, and I'll mention it again when it's my turn.
Okay, cool. So poor Ethel's like, she's like, she needs a break, and she's like, oh my god, and the only person, she's like Jen, and she's like, oh god, why did I ask Jen? But I already asked Jen, so I'm gonna be taking over for next week. Don't worry, it's not a permanent thing, guys. You're just gonna be in my hands for 1 week, and we're gonna be talking. We're kind of gonna step away from the sci-fi, although there could be some sci-fi mamas since it's almost Mother's Day. We are going to be talking about bad mommies. So I've asked everyone in the panel, might ask a few other people to join us, their idea of cinema's worst, meanest, baddest mommies in celebration of Mother's Day. So yeah, so that'll be next Sunday, guys. And I hope Trenchy will be there, Ethel will be there, and maybe a few other people will be there. So it'll be fun. Yeah. Childhood traumas. We all hate our moms at one point. Christian can attest to that.
It's excellent thing to check out. Don't forget to check out Jen's channel, of course. Jen's Reviews from the Grave. Trench, what are we looking at? My soulless trench coat, goat-faced buddy. What's coming up next?
I don't know. I'll be on Jen's next Sunday to do the thing, but I don't know if anything's happening on my channel. There might be random stuff. I don't know. I have no idea.
I get that. Trenchy, you have a big enough job just trying to wrangle me. I'll be talking about moms, so place your bets on how many incestuous things I can work into a stream, guys. Place your bets now. You guys are really gonna miss Ethel. Ethel, you're gonna get so many letters. Ethel, come back. Don't ever do this again.
Oh, it's just one Sunday. It's just one Sunday.
Just one Sunday.
It's my way of spreading around the Sunday love. Give someone else a chance while giving me a little break. We used to switch off every other month with my good pal and of course Jen's significant other, I guess we could say, her paramour, the Trash Picture Show, our good pal Marty. But of course he's a little bit busy lately. Hey, you gotta do life, guys, because without life, where do we get the funds and the ability to do this? Well, YouTube ain't giving away money like it used to. So, you got to. So we used to switch off. We're bringing the switch off back just for a Sunday. It might come back again every now and again when I can convince other people to,
take the load off.
Take a little day for me. Do a little horror thing. Step away from the sci-fi for a Sunday. Do a well, it's not really a slasher Sunday because we're talking about bad mamas, although some of them could be slashers. Mrs. Voorhees, I'm looking in your direction. It is what it is. But so join us next Sunday on Jen's Reviews from the Grave as we do Bad Mamas. We're doing the murderous mothers of Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day Mayhem early on Jen's channel, and it'll be great. Bad Mamas.
Incest edition. Bad Mamas Incest edition.
Bad Mamas. It's Bad Mamas Incest edition, unrated, friggin' XXX cut. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But check that out Sunday over there. This Friday, of course, is the off night for watch along. So, don't pop your popcorn for Friday, but pop it for next Friday because you can join me right here on this channel. We're going to be watching Zontar, the thing from Venus, which we'll get to see just how big this thing from Venus is. We'll see. Take a look. We'll stare and compare, as it were. Wait, no, we won't be doing that. We won't be doing that. But anyway,
I will.
Join me for that. I want to thank everyone that was in the chat. We had, of course, my great friend John Steele. We had Kara, Master of Fear. We had Scott Stevens. We had DMC Campbell. We had Kelly, Horror Lover. We had, did I say Brian Kubrick Lover? Yeah, I did. Probably. We had Ben Grimm. We had friggin' Kelly. We had Kelly. I said Kelly. We had Kelly. Guys, Kelly. Hey, and we had Scott Stevens, we had DMC Campbell, we had Kara Master Fear, John Steele.
We had Stephanie for a minute.
Yeah, we had Stephanie. We had my real life pal Stephanie. We had who else do we have? Oh, we had fucking Full Moon. Don't want to leave him out. Very good friend, Full Moon, friend of the channel as well, friend of Jen's, friend of Trenchy's, friend to children. No, wait, no, that's Camera. But friend to everyone.
He's the friend that let me find out about a Pepsi rape movie. He's the best friend.
Yeah, and of course,
you, Moon.
And of course, as always, if I didn't mention you from the chat portion, don't feel some kind of way about it. Look, I suck. Sometimes I miss people. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. I'll give you a hug, give you a little kissy on the cheek, a platonic one, and I appreciate y'all. And for those of you that were in the chat that didn't say anything, I hear you breathing in the shadows. I see the cherry of your cigarette as you watch me from a distance. I know you're there. I appreciate you too. Lots of love.
God, when you said cherry apple, my mind went somewhere else.
Oh, Jen, no, not that kind of cherry. Bad cherry.
Generally, if you can see them, they're usually bad cherries.
Oh boy. But
it's for next Sunday, guys. It's going to be a different kind of stream. You guys will be so happy to see Ethel.
You'll like it. Jen is a great person. You just gotta get past the incest thing. But Jen's a really good person.
Oh, thank you, Tracy. That's sweet.
Now, so with all of that, if you like videos like this, you like what I'm doing here, you can give me a thumbs up. You can leave a little encouraging comment in the comment section. That's always nice to do. Like to see it. If you hate what I'm doing, you think this is awful, you think I'm a very bad person, and you disapprove of whatever it is I'm doing, and you just need it to stop, you can always leave a thumbs down. You could leave a discouraging comment, and if you like this, and you're really enthused about what you're seeing, you want to know every time it happens, you could follow me, you could subscribe, and then you're going to be notified. You hit the little bell for notifications. You'll get like a message that says, hey, I'm on, and like I'll show up in your timeline, and like we could be best friends. We'll have matching bracelets, we'll go to summer camp together. It'll be great. So follow me.
We'll kill each other's husbands?
Sometimes, it's we do. You know what it is? Is it crisscross? They'll never
exactly
suspect.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Strangers on a train, baby.
That's right. So yeah, you do that. You hit the bell. You get notified. You can follow me on Twitter. Not so much Instagram because they don't want to allow me to use Instagram anymore. I'm not sure what that's about. If I get it resolved, I'll let you know. I'm going to update the little ticker tape at the bottom that says Instagram, so it no longer says that. But yeah, do that, and you can vote for what we watch on Fridays. I don't normally choose them. I'm doing it this month because I just want to get a fresh start, get 4 brand new movies up for vote. So do that, and hey, you can just talk to me. I'll talk back. I don't ignore people. It might take me a little while to get back to you, busy woman, but I will talk to you. I'll say things. If I'm lonely, of course I'm going to talk to you. Plus, you all are great. So, yeah, that being said, do all that. And don't forget to check out my friend Jen at Jen's Reviews from the Grave and my good friend Trenchy, the Soulless Trenchcoat. Check out both their channels. They do great content. You got some of the greatest reviews over on Jen's channel. Usually she's accompanied by her son and longtime co-host Christian, aka Sparky. And Trench is usually accompanied by feral cats in his basement. It's terrific. Hooray. Yeah, so thank you all for watching. I appreciate the hell out of you. I will see you all Sunday on Jen's channel. Thanks a lot. Adios.
Incest Sunday, guys. Be there or be filled up by your mommy or daddy. Bye.
Please don't let your parents do that to you. Or do that to your parents.
Yes, don't do that, kids. And by the way, spoon.